Today we are taking a look at Alya from Alya Sometimes Hides Her Feelings in Russian. This is the cow version figure in the TENITOL TALL line by FuRyu. Alya Sometimes Hides Her Feelings in Russian is a romantic comedy series built around a quiet but emotionally charged relationship where small gestures and hidden feelings carry much of the appeal. Within that story, Alya stands out for her cool beauty, her restrained manner, and the softer emotions that come through in subtle moments. That contrast between composure and quiet embarrassment is a big part of what makes her so memorable. Today's highlights for this figure are the faintly shy expression, the cow motif swimsuit outfit, and the soft curving body lines that carry the pose naturally from top to bottom. The first highlight is the expression. The eyes are detailed but not open too widely, the blush stays light across the cheeks, and the mouth is kept small and gentle. That combination gives the face a soft, embarrassed mood rather than a big, dramatic smile, which suits the overall tone of the figure very well. The second highlight is the outfit. The swimsuit uses a white base with black patterning, and that cow motif is echoed again through the ears, horns, and long tail. On top of that, the front lacing, the white collar, the pink ribbon, the gold bell, and the heart-shaped hook at the back give the outfit several clearly separated accents. The third highlight is the body line and pose. The figure leans forward through the torso, shifts into a narrow waist, opens into the hips, and then continues down into legs, set at different angles. Because the large curve of the tail and the long flow of the hair support that movement, the whole silhouette feels smooth, rounded, and easy to follow from one section to the next. This channel brings you figure reviews and anime merchandise updates straight from Japan. If you enjoyed this kind of content, don't forget to subscribe. The head is built first around the face, and the expression immediately sets the tone before the hair and head accessories expand the silhouette around it. The eyes use blue as the base color, but they are not handled as simple flat circles. A darker outer ring holds the edge of the iris in place, while lighter blue areas and circular details gather closer to the center, so the gaze has depth without becoming too bright or overly energetic. The upper eyelid lines run long across the top, and because the eyes are not opened fully, the expression feels soft and slightly lowered rather than direct or forceful. Thin red lines sit under the eyes and continue into the cheeks, where the blush remains narrow and lightly placed. That keeps the face from looking exaggerated and instead lets the embarrassment stay subtle. The eyebrows rise gently without becoming sharp, and the mouth is very small, with only a shallow upward curve, so the face settles into a restrained and faintly shy mood instead of a full smile. The nose stays modest and does not interrupt the smooth flow from the eyes down to the mouth and chin. After that, the hair expands the head with a much more layered arrangement. The bangs gather toward the center of the forehead and then divide into separate pointed sections, so the front is not blocked by one heavy flat shape. a longer central section drops lower, while the outer front sections curve down along the face and then move outward again, leaving small gaps around the cheeks instead of sealing the outline completely. At the top of the head, a short strand rises upward in a curved arc, and behind it, a white frilled headpiece runs across the upper area. Beyond that, the black ears project outward and the pale horns sit inside them, which adds several separate accents above the hair rather than leaving the top as a single rounded mass. Because the white frill, black ears, pale horns, and hair all keep their own shapes, the upper edge of the head remains clear and lively. Toward the back, the hair does not simply fall in one sheet. Some sections move toward the front of the shoulders, some continue down the back, and some curve outward away from the body. At the rear, the hair is gathered together and tied with a red ribbon, and that ribbon sits clearly on top of the hair instead of blending into it. From there, the longer rear sections continue downward, but the ends are not cut into one straight horizontal finish. Their lengths shift slightly from section to section, which keeps the lower edge moving. This makes the head feel complete from multiple angles. The expression stays quiet and controlled at the center, while the hair, ribbon, ears, horns, and rising top strand widen the shape around it and keep the whole head visually active. The upper body is organized around a forward-leaning torso that narrows through the waist while keeping a clear twist through the shoulders and arms. The neck leads into the chest with a smooth downward flow, but that soft skin surface is interrupted in deliberate places by costume parts layered over it. Around the neck, a white collar circles all the way around, and over the front of that collar sits a pink ribbon. Below the ribbon, a gold bell hangs at the center. Because the collar, ribbon, and bell sit in front-to-back layers instead of blending into one shape, the neck area immediately feels structured and easy to read. The collar tips remain visible behind the ribbon, and the bell projects forward below it, so even this small area creates a clear sequence of overlapping elements. Near the face, one hand supports a semi-transparent milk bottle with a blue cap. The fingers are spread and curved one by one around the side of the bottle, so the hand does not flatten into a single block. The bottle itself is also easy to read because the cloudy body and the blue cap are clearly separated. On the other side, the second hand is held low and clenched, which creates a strong contrast with the more open hand holding the milk bottle. That difference in hand shape matters because it gives the upper body more expression without requiring a large gesture. The bikini top carries most of the visual weight across the chest. It uses a white base with black patterning placed across the surface in irregular broad shapes, and the cups rise outward with real volume instead of closing flat over the chest. That point is especially important here because the front does not look like a printed panel stretched across the body. The cups lift forward and hold their shape, which leaves visible space across the chest area and makes the top feel dimensional. At the center, white cords cross over each other and create an open diamond-shaped gap between the cups. Behind that opening, the chest line remains visible, so the center does not become a single closed block. At the back, the swimsuit connection is finished with a small heart-shaped hook. That detail is compact, but it clearly separates the ends of the band and gives the swimsuit a more deliberate fastening point. The arms also add layered costume accents. Around the upper arms sit white frilled bands, and across the middle of each band runs a black strip that divides the frill into upper and lower edges. Because the skin, the white frill, and the black strip are all readable separately, these small parts do more than decorate the arms. They create clean breaks in the silhouette. Below the chest, the torso opens into a broad skin area through the stomach, where the central line stays shallow and the transition toward the waist remains smooth. That openness is important because the upper half contains many small accents at the collar, ribbon, bell, chest lacing, milk bottle, and arm frills. The broad exposed area of the torso gives those details space and keeps the upper body from feeling crowded. The lower body begins from a narrow waist and then opens quickly into the hips and upper thighs, but the shift is handled through a continuous rounded line rather than a hard break. The stomach area pulls inward and then moves smoothly into the fuller curve of the pelvis, which makes the transition into the legs feel soft and connected. At the center of the lower outfit, the black bikini bottom forms the base layer. Around its upper edge runs a white band, and over part of that sits a cow pattern waist piece with a frilled lower edge. Because these elements do not collapse into one surface, the lower outfit has several levels to read: the black inner base, the white upper border, the patterned outer panel, and then the frill at the bottom. That layered construction matters because it gives the hips clear boundaries without breaking the flow of the body. The patterned waist piece hangs over the upper thigh area instead of ending flush with the body, and the frilled edge beneath it creates another line before the skin of the thighs begins. From the back, the white band gathers into a ribbon tied above the bikini bottom. The loops and tails of that ribbon sit clearly on top of the rear section rather than disappearing into it, so the knot reads as a separate built element. From below that point, the long, thin tail extends outward in a wide curve. It does not simply drop straight down. Instead, it swings far away from the body, bends around, and then returns across the lower area, which gives the lower body an additional line running through the composition. At the tip, the tail ends in a small, tuft-like shape with its own ridges, so the end of the line feels finished instead of fading away. The legs continue that flowing arrangement. One leg moves forward more strongly, while the other stays slightly farther back, so the figure avoids a straight, symmetrical stance. The thigh-high stockings begin high on the thighs and are finished with scalloped upper edges that run around the legs as a visible border. Below that edge, the stockings narrow gradually toward the ankles. Around the knees, the surface shows a small gathered pull, which keeps the legs from looking like featureless cylinders. The lower legs taper cleanly before entering the shoes, and the shoes themselves are black pumps that give the figure a simple and neat finish at the bottom. At the rear foot, a clear support part rises behind the heel, adding another separate shape near the base without interrupting the leg line from the front. The round base remains simple, so the hips, thighs, stockings, pumps, ribbon, and long curved tail stay as the main focus. Altogether, the lower half works because it combines layered costume boundaries with broad, soft curves, then adds directional contrast through the legs and a long sweeping tail line that keeps the entire section visually active. This figure is approximately 30 centimeters tall. That's about 11.8 inches. For size comparison, here's a 350 milliliter can. That's about 12 ounces in the US. Overall, Alya by FuRyu stands out because this figure combines a faintly shy expression, a cow motif swimsuit outfit, long flowing hair, and a forward-leaning pose that guides the eye naturally across the whole piece. The face leaves a restrained first impression. The blue eyes are detailed with layered circular elements. The mouth stays small and gentle, and the blush remains light, so the expression feels softly embarrassed rather than dramatic. The subtle nose line keeps the flow from the eyes to the mouth smooth and helps the whole face stay calm and controlled. The hair strengthens that presentation very effectively. The bangs are divided into several pointed front sections, and the longer central section adds a stronger vertical accent across the face. Around the cheeks, the front strands curve down and then move outward again, so the face is framed softly rather than by one hard edge. The short strand rising at the top of the head, the white headpiece, the black ears, the pale horns, and the red ribbon at the back all add clear accents, while the longer hair sections keep the silhouette active around the shoulders and back. The upper body works well because the outfit layout and the pose support each other closely. The white collar, pink ribbon, and gold bell create a small layered focal point at the neck, and from there, the eye moves into the raised cups of the bikini top. The crossed cords at the center and the visible open space across the chest make the top feel dimensional, while the heart-shaped hook at the back adds another clear, fastening detail. One hand lifts the milk bottle near the face, while the other stays low and clenched, and that contrast keeps the upper half from feeling static. The lower body gives the figure much of its appeal. The boundary between the black bikini bottom, the white band, and the cow pattern waist piece is clear, and the frilled lower edge adds another visible break before the thighs begin. One leg moves forward more strongly, while the other stays slightly farther back, creating a clear contrast in direction. The black pumps keep the ends of the legs neat, and the tied ribbon and the long tail add a strong accent at the back. What makes the figure especially effective is the way all of these elements connect. The eye can move from the face through the collar and chest, down into the hips and legs, and then return through the tail and the flowing hair without feeling stuck. Because of that, fans of Alya sometimes hides her feelings in Russian or Alya will likely enjoy this piece very much. Collectors who like shy expressions, cow motif swimsuit outfits, and softly curved silhouettes should find it a very satisfying addition. That's it for this video. If there's any part of the figure you liked, feel free to leave a comment and share your thoughts. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.